They say life has a cruel sense of humor. Well, mine must be its favorite punchline. My name is Mark, and I live in a quiet suburb somewhere in the Midwest. Normal job, normal house, normal wife, at least that's what I thought. Until I decided to test the one person I thought would never betray me. You see, last year, I found out something that made my blood run cold. I found out my wife, Lisa, was hiding something. Not just the little white lies, those I could handle, but the kind that could blow everything apart. Or at least that's what I thought. One night, scrolling through my phone while she was asleep, I stumbled on messages. Not just any messages, but flirty texts to some guy named Jason. Nothing too explicit, but enough to sting. A betrayal wrapped in emojis and subtle promises. I confronted her. She cried, swore it meant nothing, claimed it was a phase. I nodded and smiled, pretending to believe her. But deep down, I knew. I had to see for myself how far she'd go if given a reason. So, I cooked up the perfect lie. The big one. The one nobody ever wants to hear. I told Lisa I had cancer. Stage 4. 6 months to live. The look on her face was priceless. Horror mixed with panic, like she was watching her whole world crumble. For a moment, I almost felt sorry. Almost. I faked doctor appointments, lab results, hospital stays. I went online and downloaded every symptom, every statistic. I even started losing weight, just enough to be believable. She became the perfect wife overnight. Caring, attentive, glued to my side. Suddenly I was her whole world. The man she was fighting for, but people are predictable, especially cheaters. 2 weeks into my little experiment, the cracks started to show. She couldn't keep the act up. She was exhausted from playing nurse and lover, and then came the call that shattered the little fantasy I had left. It was a Sunday. I was resting on the couch, pretending to be weak, when I noticed her phone buzzing with a message from Jason. I waited until she went to the kitchen, then swiped it open. There it was. Can't wait to see you tonight. I miss you, and she was right on schedule. At 8 p.m. sharp, she left the house, supposedly going to her sister's. Instead, she got into her car and drove straight to Jason's place. I sat there for an hour, nursing my illness, watching her leave me for the first time without a hint of guilt. I wanted to scream, to confront her right then, but I held back. This was just Act 1. My plan was in motion, and trust me, the finale will be worth the wait. For now, I sat in silence, my fake sickness eating at me as much as the real betrayal. Because here's the thing about cancer. It kills. But so does betrayal, and I was about to deliver my own brand of poison. After that night, I knew Lisa's true colors had finally surfaced. The perfect wife act was over. The woman who loved me when I was dying. Just a performance, a paycheck. But I wasn't about to let her off easy. No, this was just the beginning of the real show. I decided to keep playing sick. Not because I wanted sympathy. God knows I'm not that needy. But because I wanted to watch the chaos unfold. I upped the ante. More fake hospital visits. More feigned weakness. I even went so far as to ask her to help with simple things. Taking my temperature, filling out insurance forms. She complied, always with that sweet, rehearsed smile. But behind it, the exhaustion, the impatience, the constant sneaking glances at her phone. Lisa was cracking, and I was ready to catch her in the act again. So I started tracking her. Not like some jealous fool, but like a man on a mission. I followed her texts. Her calls even drove by Jason's place at odd hours. Sure enough, the pattern was clear. 3 times a week, late at night, Lisa was sneaking out. Not to a friend's house, not to a family event. Straight into the arms of Jason. One particularly cold Wednesday, I decided to escalate. I accidentally left my phone unlocked and placed it in the living room. Lisa walked in, phone in hand, not noticing mine glaring at her with all the damning evidence it held. She pulled out her own phone, started texting Jason. The words popped on the screen like neon signs. Can't wait for tonight. Miss you so much. Last night was amazing. I could have laughed or cried. Instead, I smiled coldly and whispered to myself, game on. Spent the next few days planning the perfect revenge. Not a petty Instagram post or a messy fight in front of friends. No, I'm not that amateur. I wanted her to feel everything she made me feel. Betrayed, used, worthless. So I put together a little script. I invited Jason over under the guise of a last goodbye. Told Lisa I wanted to see the man who stole her heart before I died. Her eyes widened at first, but she quickly masked it with fake confidence. After all, she thought she was untouchable. Jason showed up on a Friday night. Handsome, cocky, thinking he was the big hero saving the dying man's wife. I poured drinks, played the perfect host, and then I dropped the bomb. I told them the truth. Well, most of it. I didn't say I was faking the cancer. That would have been too easy. Instead, I said I had less than a month to live, that I knew about their affair, and that I was giving them a chance to confess, to face the truth. Jason looked shocked, then angry. Lisa looked panicked. But here's the kicker. They never denied it. Instead, they laughed right in my face, the audacity. I sat there sipping my drink, pretending to be broken. But inside, I was already planning my next move. Because revenge isn't about confrontation. It's about control. And in this game, I held all the cards. I left them that night, letting them stew in their own guilt. But the real show was just beginning. After that night with Lisa and Jason, I knew it was time to deliver the final act. But let me make something clear. I'm not a man who enjoys messy confrontations or public scenes. No viral videos or screaming matches on social media. For me, that's amateur hour. My revenge had to be slow, cold, and precise, like a surgeon's scalpel cutting through rotten flesh. I started with Lisa's precious little secrets. See, while she was busy sneaking around, she was careless. Very careless. First, I hacked her email. Not with some fancy CIA-level stuff, just enough to find her messages and plans. And there, buried in a thread, was proof of financial fraud. Yes, financial fraud. Lisa had been siphoning money from our joint accounts for months, hiding expenses, making fake receipts, and even funneling cash into Jason's accounts. The perfect wife was also a master thief. I saved every single document, every transaction, every lie. Then came the subtle part. I contacted her boss. A nice little anonymous email explaining Lisa's side hustle and the legal mess she was in. Within days, Lisa got called into HR, suspended pending investigation. Her perfect image started to crack in the office. Rumors spread fast. Is she stealing company money? Did she falsify reports? While Lisa was struggling at work, I moved on to Jason. I reached out to his wife. Yes, Jason had a wife. Surprised? You should be. He was the ultimate player, juggling two women while pretending to be Mr. Nice Guy. His wife was devastated when I sent her all the proof, texts, pictures, bank transfers. The perfect revenge for a man who thought he was untouchable. Meanwhile, Lisa was spiraling. Her sick husband turned out to be a liar, her affair exposed, and now her job on the line. But the best part was yet to come. You see, I had been quietly preparing my own comeback. I recovered a small inheritance from a distant relative, enough to start fresh and build something new. And I did. Within 6 months, I bought a new house, changed my appearance, and launched a business consulting startup. Business boomed. I was thriving. Lisa, She was broke, unemployed, and alone. No Jason to save her this time. One afternoon, I bumped into her at the grocery store. She looked me up and down, the old cocky smile replaced by something closer to fear. I just smiled back, no words needed. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't words, it's living well. Lisa will never forget the day she chose betrayal over loyalty, and I'll never forget the satisfaction of watching it all fall apart, one perfect piece at a time.